Hello everyone, and welcome to the intro video for the Scene Assembler add-on. What is the Scene Assembler add-on? It is a new editor in Blender, a node-based editor that allows you to assemble render scenes and view layers in Blender in a node-based environment. So procedurally, it gives you a lot of control and a lot of flexibility. So this comes really handy when you deal with complex scenes with a lot of view layers and a lot of scenes and objects, and I believe it becomes sometimes tricky to manage things in Blender. So this is where this add-on really shines. And on top of that, it also adds a lot of new functionality that will make your workflow even faster and more efficient. Right now, the add-on is in beta, and I hope someone will want to join the beta program to help me improve the add-on even further and fix any problem that may have been left after my own testing. And this video is really going to be an overview of the plugin, of the add-on, just to show the basic functionalities, and then I'm going to do more to show more in-depth features. So if we come in Blender, the add-on's already been installed, and you can see here we've got this Scene Assembler editor, and we can add a new node graph. And now it's really like any other Blender node editor. We can add nodes, move them around, connect them. But for now, we're going to use this create from active scene function. And what just happened is that the add-on has translated my current Blender scene into nodes for me. So it's really convenient to quickly set up things. And let's see what's being created. So the first node is the output defaults node. This is where you set all the basic settings for every scene that we're going to build inside this node graph. Things like the output path, file name, frame range, resolution, what camera we want to use, what world, and the render settings, and more are going to be set here and are going to be used for every scene in my node graph. Down here, this is where Blender has built my scene. So currently I only had one view layer and one scene. So here it is. This is my scene, and this is the view layer contained in that scene. And this node, called a collection source node, this is where you can create a custom stack of collections that you can pick from within the file you're working with, or even from external file. And once you feed this into a view layer, this is going to give you this outliner style menu that is built upon what collections you're putting in. So if I were to delete a collection here, you can see that this outliner will change accordingly. And so this is really convenient to build these view layers only with the stuff you really need, nothing more, so you don't have huge aligners in case you have a huge Blender scene with tens and tens of collections. So here then in the view layer, you can set all your usual view layer settings, such as want to exclude a collection from rendering, I want to make it a holdout, or I want to make it an indirect contributor only. I can do this here. And then once we've done that, the data is going into the scene node. And the scene node, as scenes in Blender, can contain as many view layers as I want. So here I can add more view layers, and then I can just duplicate this node here, and these nodes here, and I can connect them here. And you can see here I get a list of my nodes, and I can, for example, rename this view layer, and I'm going to see it here. I can exclude them from rendering, or maybe I can solo. So now only this view layer is going to be rendered. And at any time, so if we let's change something here, for example, let's say I don't want to have the plane, and I want the torus to be a holdout, right? And then at any time, I've got this nice feature, build previous scene, that is going to create a temporary scene here built upon whatever I've got here. So this is a nice way for me to check what's going on visually in Blender while I'm building nodes here. And you can see I've got all the my view layers. So if we go check the overrides, this reflects now whatever I've been doing here. And of course, also all the render settings and the output settings are coming in to this scene preview. We can now close this and keep working. And for now, we're gonna work with 2 scenes. So we can delete this one. What else? Down here, we've got default settings overrides. So I can here decide to override these default settings that I've set here. So here I've got all the stuff that I have in the default node, plus all the inputs here. So I can decide that I wanna, for example, use a different camera for these scenes. I can do that. And again, remember that we can have as many scenes we want in this node graph, so that this feature is going to be really useful to quickly change settings in a single scene. And not only I can do that for a scene, but I can do it also for view layers, which is something that you can't really do in Blender. So I can decide that in this overrides layer, I want to use a different camera, and then I want to use a different world, and maybe I even want to use different render settings. I can use a completely different engine. Here, I can change all the render settings that I have in Blender. I can do so. And there's much more that we can override that we're not gonna look at in this video. Before we continue, so now again we've got these two view layers that are contained inside the scene. But this view layer is using different camera, different world, and different render settings. Let's also set things up quickly for a quick render that we're gonna do. I want to use cycles as my main engine. Change something here, then I just want to render 10 frames. It's going to be a bit faster. And also I like to show you here the file name token system, which allows you to build the file name output, the file output name, sorry, based on the scene, layer, camera, the date, a custom label, and the frames. So for this scene, I don't want to use the scene because we only have one scene, but I want to have the layer and the camera and the frame. So that's good. Now, before we start rendering, I want to show you also something really cool, I think. So here we've got this override section, and I can bring in this extract object node, connect it here, and now I get a list of all the objects that are contained into this collection group that I built. And I can pick up Suzanne, and then I can, for example, make a transform override, and I want it to be half the size. Let's bring this down a little bit. And then I can override the shader and say I want to use, see right now, Suzanne has got this yellow shader. I want to use this purple one. And I can even decide if I want to override all the slots or just a particular slot in case I had more on that particular object. And I can even override here the animation. So Suzanne has got this rotation applied, but I also have in this file this Suzanne override animation where Suzanne is going up. So here I'm going to put back this one. So this is what's currently applied to Suzanne, but I can tell that I can say that I want to use this override action for this particular layer. And then I come here, I add override here, and I can have as many as I want. I just need one for this example, connect this here. And now on top of all these overrides that I already have, I'm going to have Suzanne that is going to have different transform, different shader, and different animation. So now we're ready to render, and to do so we're going to use the queue manager that comes bundled with the add-on. Okay, so right here the add-on comes with this browser interface queue manager, and you can see that mine's already running, and then I can add to queue, click OK. And after a few moments, the jobs have been added here. And so you can see the progress ongoing. You can see here, I can drag and drop these in case there were more jobs queued to have to change priority. And then I have a full log that is also being saved to disk to be debugged in case some problem uh, presented itself. And while it renders, now I'd like you to think, how would you build this scene, even such a simple thing like this scene in Blender? Uh, I think it would be quite painful with all these overrides and so on. Whether here it was really easy and really convenient, and all the settings are here. It's all procedural, non-destructive. So I think it will make your life much easier, especially if you think about more complex scenes. But here, the render is done. Let's see what happened. So here we got our overrides layer camera 001. So the name is correct. And we have our torus that is a holdout. The plane is gone. And then the world is blue. And Suzanne is a different camera. And Suzanne is purple, is smaller. And you can see is going up. And this is our original settings. So view layer camera with the default scene with Suzanne rotating. So this is the add-on basic functionality. And as I mentioned before, there are many more really nice features that I'd like to show you in future videos. But I hope this already sparkled your interest, and I hope I'm going to see people applying for the beta test to help me improve the add-on and then hopefully launch it really soon. Thank you for watching, and looking forward to see you in other videos.